Jeff.
I've been wanting to see.
What's the story, man?
Hurry out!
How are you?
Lead me from this forsaken place.
You're grand, you're alright, man. I sent you an invite there for to come and view the broadcast. Show you. Just to give you an idea, because I'm just doing some side quests and stuff, some Mickey Mouse stuff, like just to get the small achievements, because most of the lads that I normally play with won't be on tonight, like so. But no, it's a good game, man. If you get it, I'm in a decent guild. Like all the lads are pretty sound, so we'll give you a hand. We'll get you sorted, you know. Help you get gear and stuff sorted. Now I won't be on this weekend because I'm on Limerick for a few days, but
I know, like I do understand, so like that's all I just had a day off now.
yeah.
Lotus, she's all right. Thank Sheffer. Thank you.
Yeah.
Damn it, tell
It's no hassle, man. It's no hassle.
going to
Do you know what? And you'll probably end up being one of the youngest people in the guild, because most of the people around my age are all working, they're all married, have kids, and the generally are on in the evening times or the weekends, you know?
Yes. These animals don't suppose. Then I do.
If you actually go back to your PlayStation menu and you scroll over my file, it should show you that I'm broadcasting.
Yeah, it does. It actually has a little sign there. I never noticed that.
Yeah. If you click it, it's pretty good. Yeah. It's like that's the biggest expansion they've done so far. It's like it's a new section of map, new dungeons. So every so often they bring out new dungeons. But this is like a whole new like island to explore, new quests and new skill lines that you can develop and all that kind of stuff. New armors, all the bits and pieces that will come with it, you know. If you buy that, no, I'd say you have to buy the base game and then buy that, because I already had the base game, and even though I pay for the ESO Plus.
Oh yeah, you have to buy. You can't just buy. That's correct.
Yeah, no, because I had to pay the €30 for fucking Somerset as well, even though I already owned the base game, and I paid for Plus because it was such a big such a big expansion of content that they had to charge for it. Like they were like, look, we're after putting so much work into this, we need to charge for it, otherwise we're going to go broke. So I was like,
like they seem to be following the same marketing plan as like the likes of like, well, the game I just got there last night, Destiny, they'll release a very free expansion.
Yeah.
You know, at price.
Yeah, well, it's not bad. Like, it's a really good game. Like, there's pre-expansion, there's shitloads to do in it. Like, were you able to get that expansion? Were you able to get in to watch that fucking broadcast yet? Yeah, it's a griffin. So in the new expansion, this expansion, it's on. You're in the Somerset Island. I'll show you now in a second. So the character I have is a Nightblade. I'm just going to kill this dude. I'll show you. Yeah. Oh, it's probably on my TV. It's probably too loud. I'll just turn this down here. See, does that make a difference?
That's class. Is that like a druid kind of ability where you summon a bear or like?
No, it's there's monster sets. I'll go over here 1 minute. I'll go into my inventory and show you. What's wrong, Jay? What's wrong, Bubba? You turn your mouth there and eat that. Chew on that. Your teeth and pouring across. I'm just gonna go down here to the beach for a second because
Yeah, no, I know, yeah, steal that blood.
No, it's just that fucking I'm gonna go into my inventory now and I don't want to get fucking jumped by monsters and shit. So this is my character build here. It's a Nightblade. Can you see that screen? Yeah.
Hold on. You have to go into your inventory and okay, now you're in collections.
so here you go, Bubba. Take that, eat that. Come on, I can't hold that for you. You need to learn to hold it yourself. So yeah, so that's my character build, right? So if you look down in the bottom right hand side, it says like the character name, it has location, Somerset, and then it says champion 521. So when you go from like level 1 to 50, you can't use champion points. You can slot them in place, but they don't kick in until you get max level. Max level is level 50, and then after that, then every you know, like 100,000 of experience points you get 1 champion point. So the max champion points you get is 750. Now, because I dropped out of this game, I only got back into it like the last 5 or 6 weeks. I'm only up to 521. But the character I have is a Nightblade. He's like an assassin type character. So like I sacrifice like survivability and damage shields for high damage output. So like when I'm fighting other players PvP or I'm doing dungeons and stuff, I can put out quite a bit of damage. But the downside is that I have to be working with a healer who can heal me and keep me alive to do the damage. So the monster set's there now. The armor I have is armor I crafted myself and put together, and that owl mask you can only get that by doing a special one-off. They had like a special kind of like 1 week trial thing. So there's very few players. Yeah, so very few people have it because you had to do the Dragonstar Arena within a certain time limit. But like that bear thing that popped up, like that's a monster set. So like if I go into my inventory and you see me weapons, right? So I've got like legendary swords and stuff. So I've upgraded most of the stuff. But the monster set, that's Celine's visage. Can you see that stuff coming up there now on the right hand side there if I scroll down? Yeah, so it's like if you have 2 items, 2 pieces of a Celine set, it's when you deal direct melee damage, you have a 15% chance to call a primal spirit that mauls the closest enemy in front of you for 1.3 seconds for 13,781 physical damage, and that effect can occur every 4 minutes. Now, when I'm just doing 1v1s, I use that because it's really good for 1v1s. But I have another one there called Veladret's Mask, and it's a legendary one as well. And what that does is that shoots out these like poison spores in different directions in front of me. So when I'm fighting multiple enemies, like that does about 12,000 damage to most players, which is great because most players when you're playing them have somewhere between 20 to 25,000 health. Very, very rare you get more than that, you know, and you should be able to take them down pretty quick. So there's a good bit involved in it, like, you know. And when you get into the game, I'll get you into the guild that I'm in, and we'll help you out. We'll get you started, you know, like so. My character here, I can go invisible and enemies can't see me. I can sneak up on them and I can do a lot of damage. And kill players within like 1 or 2 shots. Whereas some players play as like healers, or they play as magic builds and stuff like that, and they can put out decent damage, but like they've got lots of shields and shit like that, you know. So it all depends. Kind of, yeah, to a certain extent. Not as convoluted and as extensive as World of Warcraft. But like, say, if you pick a healer, there's going to be 1 or 2 things you're going to do, right? Your healing build is either going to be for PvE or PvP. So I suggest your healer, get a balanced healer, because my healer that I have is a balanced healer. I can use them for both, and I'll give you a hand with the builds. But if you're picking, it all depends then as well what race, because like if you pick a particular race of character, how their passive skills or their natural racial abilities affect your class as well. So like, for example, you wouldn't be a healer and then pick to be a dark elf or something, because like dark elves are really good warriors and really good nightblades and tanks, so it doesn't really make sense, you know what I mean? So like if you're going to be, yeah, if you're going to pick either, well, the best is the Argonians, the lizard people, because they have natural affinities for healing magic, so you get boosts to healing magic and stuff like that. But like you wouldn't necessarily, you know, you have to make sure you do your research on the races and stuff. So like the Khajiit that like for example, I'll go in here now and I'll just take off my mask and I'll show you what my character looks like. Yeah, so it's one of the Khajiit people, because they're the best for the Nightblades, because their sneak ability is much higher than anyone else's. So like if you're picking, like say, like you want to be a tank, you want to be a damage dealer, like with 2-handed weapons, or like with a greatsword or dual weapons, probably going to go with like a Nord, a Redguard, or possibly even a Imperial. And then any of the magic builds then you're going to go with is going to be either High Elf, Breton, or the Bretons. Bretons are pretty good as well, you know? Yeah. The Imperials are decent enough across all of them, like they're kind of like your base, kind of like, yeah. So this is the Somerset. I'm in Somerset now. All I was doing this morning was a small side quest and farming Imperials and stuff, so like it's pretty cool. Like you see the graphics in it, you can see it's a really big map. So I'm just going to scroll out and see if you can see the map. So tell me if the map pops up here. So can you see that map there now? Yeah, there's probably a delay on my stream. There's probably a few seconds of a delay. So that's the Somerset map there. I still have a good bit to explore. So that's Somerset, right? So I'm going to scroll out, okay? And then, depending on where you start, like if you pick the Aldmeri Dominion, which is like the yellow team, which is the team I'm on, you'll start off over along here in these islands here, right? So like this is one map here. This is another map here. If I scroll into it, it's pretty big, look. That's Orden, like that's one of your spot, right? Oh, here, watch when I show you, man, right? So that's like this area along here is all of the, this is all the Aldmeri Dominion. So this is like the area that my team holds. And then you have, this is the full map. Like I still have areas here I haven't even explored. And I have this game 4 years, man. So like you go into all these are all like different little countries you can go in. You go into Stormhaven. Stormhaven is a big map. You go into Alakir Desert. The desert is a pretty big map. Again, you can see I've only half of that like kind of explored. And then if you go into Cyrodiil, which is the PvP map, which is like where you capture castles and keeps, like you can see that's pretty big. Like that's as you can see there, it pops up. The Reds have the most castles at the moment in the PvP war. So PvP wars last 30 days. Every 30 days it changes. So that's after resetting yesterday, because yesterday was the first. So my team is the yellows. So most people are on the yellow side, are generally like a little bit older, generally have jobs. A lot of the younger guys and a lot of the teenagers and fucking 12-year-olds are either on the blue or reds. But like at the weekend now, most of the boys will be on, my guild will be on. They'll own that entire map. They will fuck lads up, like, and it's really good. The maps are really big, like, you know. But what I'm going to do is one of the other features that they have is they brought in battlegrounds, so where you could like fight teams of 4v4, which they didn't have before in that. You get your mounts and your pets, so that's my little pet there as well that I have, so you can get different pets in the game. You can like have all sorts of weird little creatures. So I have a little griffin that follows me around the place, a baby griffin. And then you get your mounts. So I have the blood mount as well, the blood demon horse. So you get a few of them. So there's quite a few of them that are in this. Mounts are quite handy for getting around the map and stuff. But I have different characters. Like I have a top level tank that I use for doing dungeons and stuff. I've got a healer, I've got like a sorcerer, and I've got a good mixer. Like there's different ones. Like there's a whole build there now, the warden build, which is like a druid build, which you use like healing magic, and you can summon animals to fight for you and all that stuff. It's a decent enough build, and it's a good one to start off with. But it depends on what you want to do, like play-wise. If you want to do lots of damage, I suggest you go with a Magicka build, like a damage dealing sorcerer, or go with a Nightblade, and whatever you need, I will help you out with equipment and weapons and shit like that. It's like decent enough crafting, and the boys can build are good. So you probably see every so often there on the right hand side of my screen, like the green chat that pops up. So the green chat there is that's my guild. The boys are talking amongst themselves. The white chat is generally people in the area looking for help or looking to trade, and then if it comes up like blue, it means somebody's whispering to you, like they're having a private conversation with you. So it's pretty decent, like so. Well, if you had the time, you could technically do it in a day, right? And the reason you do it in a day is that you would join the guild, and we would get somebody to craft your training armor. It doesn't really matter what type of armor. Like, depending if you're going, you use light armor for magic builds, you use medium armor for like assassins and damage dealers, and then heavy armor for tanks, and just characters that you want to be able to take lots of damage and just like hold the enemy up. So what we do is on your armor. I'm just going to go into my inventory now and show you my armor. So if I go to say like my chest piece here, right? So I've it should come up there. Can you see that? There's a little bit of delay from my screen to yours, so it'll take a couple of seconds. So yeah, so that I've the Jack of Hunding's Rage, which is armor level of 2084. It's level 50, and it's max champion point to 160. So just below that, I have added extra stamina. It's a maximum stamina enchant of 668. Okay. But if you look just underneath that, there's like a little fucking magnifying glass, and it says Divines. So that means that's the trait that I put on it. So when I crafted this armor myself, you can select a specific trait. Now Divines, what that means is what Divines means, it increases your Mundus Stone effect. And Mundus Stone is like, if you ever played Skyrim, do you know those little star sign things you could choose to have as a bonus? Same thing. So but the one I picked was one that's going to give me more weapon damage. So what that does there is, by having Divines on that increases my weapon damage by 7.5%. When you're doing it and you're trying to grind, what we would do is for your trait and your armor, we wouldn't have it as Divines, we'd have it as training. And what that means then is you get experience from killing enemies and for killing NPCs by about 10 to 15%.
So I get 10-15% more.
Yeah, but here's the kicker. We would make all your armor, your legs, your hands, your feet, your helmet, your chest, your shield, your sword, whatever weapons you're using, everything training so that you get the max of it. And then if you've got crowns from the crown store, it's basically like buying loot boxes, you would buy yourself maybe 5 experience scrolls, and they would give you, on top of everything else you're getting, another 100% extra XP. And then we just bring you onto some dungeons and bring you like grinding for the day, just killing enemies and sharing quests with you. Like I've done it before. It's hard because it can be a bit repetitive. So you need to be able to.
I'm used to doing this, like, how would I explain, like, I'm used to doing the same exact mission.
Yeah. Well, like. Yeah, well, we do that as well. Like, there's certain dungeons where you can only get certain armor, and like you might have a really, really small chance of the armor getting dropped. So we'd have to do it multiple times in a weekend with the lads to help them get it, or if I was looking for something, the same kind of thing. But you'll get there pretty fast, you know. And there's different ways of like boosting you as well. So we'd help you. Like, if you're prepared like to get a day just to grind the fuck out of a character, you could technically would do it in like a good 10-12 hour shift on the game. And it's good, you know. And it gives you a good idea then as well of your skills, because the more fighting you're having in the game, the more dungeons you're doing, like the more you're going to test your skills, and you're going to have your own playstyle. Because like the skills that I use in my night blade are not necessarily the same skills other players would use in their night blade, you know. So oh yeah, everyone has their own different style play, you know. Like because some of the boys would be surprised as well that even though they have more champion points than me, that I'm able to put out way more damage. But like, some of the guys have built like just pure stamina, kind of like, you know, stealthy characters, where my build is a specific poison build. So like, I jump into a character, I normally don't use that fucking bear thing that pops up every so often to fight. I normally use my my Veladret. So my Veladret, I'll show you here if I can get it to pop. I'm just going to target this dude over here and see what I get. So like, from a distance I should be able to do serious damage with even just one bow on this lad. Like, he's practically dead with just one shot there. So you see that Veladret thing just after popping off, those little spikes, those little balls just flew up in front of me there. Like, they do serious damage to enemies and players. Like, and the way that's a 10% chance every time you deal damage that one of them will pop off. So there's another enemy over here. He's pretty strong. I should be able to kill him with 1, maybe 2 shots at least. He's gonna drop in a second. He's poisoned as well, so I don't even have to go down to him. He's dead. So it's the poison damage I do, because especially when you're fighting actual players, depending on how somebody has built their character, if they haven't really protected themselves against poison, which a lot of people don't, the poison damage can not only fuck up their health, but it can prevent their magic or their stamina recovering, which means it gives me and my team more time to jump in and fuck them up, like. So it's a really good game. I'm actually gonna go on. I'm gonna jump in and do a random battleground to show you what the battlegrounds are like. Now, the battlegrounds are tough because my character here it's a 50-50 build. I can use him for PvE and I can use him for PvP. If I was to change him slightly, he'd be more effective than just PvP. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into a battleground, which is a 4v4 fight, and show you what it's like when you're actually fighting other players. Booba booba. Booba booba booba. So this is team deathmatch we're doing. It's 3 teams of 4 taking each other on. Jason, what's wrong with you today, Bubba? You just don't want to do anything I ask you to. What's wrong? Is Claudia coming over, Mona? Because I have to go to work shortly. So it'll take a few seconds for this to load up. I'm working at 3 o'clock today, but I need to go in a little bit early. I have a few bits to get done. I'm off for a long weekend for the first time. Now this fight is already on, so my team are a little bit behind. So I need to go over and help the boys out here and just try and do my best to fuck these boys up. So that's my boys up there with the red or the blue over them. So they're trying to fight and kill these guys. So I'm just going to hang back and give out as much damage as I can. There's somebody there that has the same kind of setup as me, as you can see there. So see the way I got straight away, I just got fucked up there. That's it, because your man has a really powerful wizard and I have fuck all damage shields and stuff. So I'm just going to respawn now and pop in and just give you an idea of what it's like. I don't know, what did you do with it? Oh, it's here. No, I won't be on for much longer, Jack, because I got to go on a few minutes to do something, but just give you an idea of what it's like here. And I'll quickly jump in just to show you. So there's 3 teams here fighting. My team, which are called the Pit Demons, and then you've got the purples and the oranges. I'm just going to try and drop in, like sneakily drop in a few snipes with the arrows and fuck these boys up a little. Hey Claudia, there's 2 boys down already. He's gone, he's dead. So I'm just going to go and hide now. Also, the character I have, I can turn into a werewolf as well. You can get little buffs like that as well, so if you're stamina build and you want to be a real damage build, you need to go for werewolf. And if you're a magic build and doing damage, vampire is the best. You don't have to, like I know lots of boys don't play them at all. My boys are getting fucked up. Yeah, werewolf do way more damage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this battleground now, and I'm going to jump into Cyrodiil, which is like the main PvP campaign, which is basically like literally taking castles and blowing fucking castles up and trying to capture as much ground as you can. And PvP, if you're into it, in this game is one of the best I've seen in a long time, because where you were limited on a lot of games like World of Warcraft and Star Wars Online and stuff like that to have maybe having 50 players in a PvP battle, you can literally have, I'm not joking, hundreds of players fighting each other in PvP in this game. Like proper war. So much so that like there's so many players on screen sometimes that the lag can be pretty bad. Hey Claudia, give me 5 minutes to be with you, okay? So this is the PvP side. So on this screen here you can see that the Almeri Dominion, the yellow guys, they're my team. We don't have a full contingent in there. We've got 2/3 of what we actually should have. The Ebonheart Pact, they're in the lead. They've got maximum amount of players that they're allowed to have in this campaign, and then the Daggerfall Covenant, or the blue guys, they're pretty close behind. So I'm entering into it now. And it's really big. The map in this is really, really big. Like you have to you can fast travel to castles if you own them, which is fine. But if you don't own certain castles and you need to get to a particular battle that's happening to help people, you have to physically travel on your horse, and it can take ages to get there if your horse isn't upgraded. So you constantly need to be upgrading your horse's speed and stamina and looking after all your armor and your gear and stuff. Here we go, sunshine. Yeah. There's a good bit of depth in it. It takes time, but the best thing is, man, if you get in with a good guild where people know, like in our guild, like we've got like really good healers, we've got really good people crafting, we help each other out with dungeons and shit the whole time, you know. Like I spent every night this week, all I was doing was not even doing my own gear quests and stuff, just helping the boys do their bits and pieces. Jason, if I keep giving you your Dodie and you keep spitting it out, why are you crying? That's the stable master there now. I need to upgrade the Lubis.
Greetings.
No, I can't do it at the moment, no.
Yeah.
So this is the siege merchant. So you would could use, I just need to sell some gear here, because I have too much crap that I need to get rid of. What's wrong, Jeff? Yeah, I got that. I just finished it. I actually only finished playing through Morrowind there about a week ago, and I'm working on Somerset now, because up before Morrowind came out, I had everything played up to date, like. And then because I was waiting so long for Morrowind to come out, I just kind of dropped off this game and started playing Fortnite. I'm back into this now. So here you can come and you can buy siege weapons. So you can buy ballistas, battering rams, you can buy trebuchets, you can buy camps that you can set up if you're in enemy territory. The camps allow you, like if you die, to respawn at the camp. Mon, I'd say get a bottle ready for this lad. No, I'm gonna buy 4 stone trebuchets. Mammy's getting a bottle ready for you. Say hello, Claudia. So I just need to check the map. Be 2 secs now. I need to make sure that my trebuchets are in a position to be used. So you have to slot your items in. So if you look at the map here then, when it pops up, you can see that one of our castles there is under attack, so I'm going to go and help the boys defend that. So I fast travel to a close castle. He's a whinger. He whinges if you don't give him attention. How's your man keeping? How's your sister keeping? Last time I saw your sister, I think she was maybe 4 or 5 years old. Easily. So now I gotta head over to... I gotta head to Castle Fargyle. That's one of our home bases, but it's under attack at the moment. And see, if you look at the top of my screen, there's like a little kind of compass. A little compass bar. Yeah, so see, it says Castle Fargyle, and it's slightly red with like a star behind it. The star means it's under siege, but the red means it was the red means it was controlled recently by the red team, so we need to get that back, because that's one of our home keeps. If they take that home keep, for every enemy keep you hold in possession, you get so many points per hour, and whichever team at the end of the 30 days has the most points obviously wins, and you get you get serious rewards. Like it's hard in this game to like generate gold. Like you have to you get a small amount of gold for doing dungeons and shit like that, and for selling items that you don't want. But like you can make, like what would take you maybe 4 or 5 weeks to make 100,000 gold in the game if you're playing every day, you can make like in one single campaign. Like you can make double that or triple that in a campaign for your team winning. And you don't even have to play the campaign. No, you can't buy. No, you can't. This is the one game that I've gotten that you can't actually buy gold. You actually have to. They're really particular about you going out and trying to earn gold and shit. You can use it to buy items. You can use it to repair items and stuff like that. So right, there's boys here. I need to be careful. I need to sneak. There's fighting going on over here. I could get sniped here at any moment by another Nightblade. So like, the best thing about my character is that I'm a Nightblade. I can sneak and hide. But the downside is I don't have a lot of survivability. Like I'm literally basically an assassin. So like these are my boys fighting in here. So if they're enemies, they'll have a red dot or a blue dot over their head. What are you giving out for? What are you shouting at your daddy for? Put that in your mouth too much. So they're fighting one of the boys over here. This red lad is not going to survive much longer. He's down. He's dead. So the boys obviously took the castle back. But there's about 20 other castles now that we have to either defend or capture. What are you crying for? What you crying for? Put that in your mouth. Mon, have you a bottle ready for him, have you? Alright. Anyway, listen, Jack, I'm gonna have to go, buddy. So that's kind of like that's your PvP side of it and stuff. So I'll be on all day Monday, because I'm off Monday. I'm back from Limerick on Monday. So if you get the game over the weekend, give me a shout and I'll give you a hand, okay? No worries, man. No worries. We'll talk to you there.